bring in Megan Cassell up from Washington for some more reaction to that interview with Commerce Secretary Lutnick, which could, Megan, be contributing to this leg higher in the market.
Absolutely, Kelly. In listening to that interview and watching the market, what I noticed was what you just highlighted there, that the secretary said there is a trade deal that he has done. They're just waiting for the other country to approve it, and then they can announce it. And of course, he didn't want to say which country, but from reading the tea leaves and from everything we've heard from the administration recently, India, South Korea, and Japan, they've repeatedly been saying, are sort of at the top of the list in terms of making the most progress. It's possible, it's very possible, they've sort of been setting themselves up to potentially announce a deal this week when they're, of course, celebrating the president's 100 days. So we think that was an indication from the secretary that they're very close to that. They are hoping to announce it this week. He went on to say, with country after country, they're just working through the details. And then he said, all of these deals are going to be smart and thoughtful, but they're also going to protect our industry. And he says he thinks GDP will pop from there. I think, to me, that might be what's pushing up the markets to session highs right now. The other piece, Kelly, of that interview that I found most interesting, and this gets into a little bit of palace intrigue here, is how the Commerce Secretary said a couple of times in that interview that it's the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who's in charge of the China negotiations. Lutnick said that he was in charge of pretty much everyone else throughout the world, but that he was counting on Scott Bessent to strike a deal with China. I've been listening to Bessent give several interviews, Kelly, over the last 72 hours or so. He's repeatedly been asked about those talks with China, and he's repeatedly said he doesn't know if the president has spoken with Chinese President Xi, that he spoke with his Chinese counterparts last week, but not about trade. And he was the one who said this morning that with 17 of 18 trading partners, things are moving forward, but he was putting China to the side. So clearly there, not a lot of movement on China, even as the Commerce Secretary says that Bessent is the one to talk to about all of it. Kelly?
Great point. Megan, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And by the way, the president is now heading off to Michigan. Is that right? There's been some, how shall we say, speculation in the markets that as he turns into more rally mode, could we hear the kind of rhetoric that actually tends to spook the market about tariffs and so forth once again?
It's possible. You never know when this president gets going exactly which way he's going to go. You might be able to hear behind me, Kelly, the helicopter. The noise that you're hearing is the president's helicopter landing on the South Lawn just now. The president is set to depart any moment for Michigan. We know that one topic of those remarks is going to be the economy and tariffs. And it could actually be good for the markets because we know one big topic for the day has been tariff relief coming to the auto companies. Like we talked about last hour, this idea of limiting the number of tariffs to which auto companies are subjected and allowing, at least for the next 2 years, a small rebate for these auto companies to try to offset the tariff impact. We do expect the president to talk about that tonight. We don't know of him announcing any further tariffs or things that could spook the markets, but you do never know once he starts speaking this evening.